Hello everyone, welcome back to another 1/6 scale figure review. Today is the Spike Spiegel from Cowboy Bebop by Threezero, who have pretty much become one of my favourite 1/6 scale collectible figures. I love the affordability that these guys have and have still retained over the years. And also I love the unique anime characters that they're delving into now. You know, in the past few years they did Walking Dead and Game of Thrones, which I think was out of their wheelhouse. But I personally think anime is where Threezero shines, and their Transformer line. And this is no exception here. This is an amazing figure from the guys at Threezero. This is the first character of the Cowboy Bebop line, which is an amazing anime. One of my favorites. Bebop and Berserk are probably my top two. And yeah, what I'm going to do is go through the accessories, because there is a lot. Go through some of the swap out head sculpt plates. Talk shit about the figure. Chuck him in a couple of poses, not too much, but just a bit. And yeah, really excited about this. So if you guys do enjoy, make sure you like and sub, and we'll get right into it. So I thought we'll start off with the alternate head sculpt, the more serious looking Spike. This is what he looks like pretty much at the end of the anime, when he's more pissed off, especially after Julia's death. And I think the texturing really simulates the anime and the manga. He's kind of got his weird red eyes. You know, obviously one of them is supposed to be glass. It's a fake eye. And yeah, interesting mechanism to have it connected. You gotta pretty much pull the head sculpt from the hairpiece. And I'll bring the head here. You pretty much have to pop out. I'm not gonna do it because I don't really like doing this on camera, but you kind of pop it out and then plug it in with the three little holes there. And you pretty much got the differences there. And just a quick cutaway just to show the faces a bit better. I'm more inclined to go with this version of Spike, the more happier look, because most figures don't have a lot of expression. It's mostly a dead stare like this, a more neutral expression. I much prefer this, so I'm going to stick with how it came out the box, pretty much. So you get the money card included. Which is what he uses to pay for stuff. You can see he's got his signature there. And I might just move Spike out the way. He seems to steal the focus a bit. And with the money card, you get the card reader, which they've already got one there inserted for you. I'm not going to use this, so I'm not taking it out of the plastic, but I do want to show it. So in the anime, he would put this in, or the Bebop crew would put it in to the reader. And yeah, nice little accessories it came with. You get a lot of different pistols. So you got the alternative one that he uses at the end of the anime, I believe. And the one he has in his hand at the start of the video is his primary handgun, pretty much. And then you got the shotgun, which is a really cool accessory. He pretty much uses this when he reunites with Julia with that shootout, and obviously she gets killed. Bit of pump action, and what is unique about this is the cartridge here that shoots out the bullets. When you pump it further enough, it actually moves, which is actually a really good attention to detail. Especially for an anime based figure, you wouldn't expect that detail with this. Not even like regular 1/6 scale figures weaponry have that attention to detail. But that's really, really nice how it does that. And some other miniature stuff, if you're not careful, you might lose these guys, which is the cigarette and the lighter. Not going to use them, so again, I'm going to keep them in the plastic seal. And the lighter's pretty well detailed. It's all plastic. But I really think the cigarette is the winner here. It kind of has that bent, wet look. You know, Spike pretty much goes through all his battles and fights and just pops out a cigarette that's all crumpled. And he doesn't really care about the state of it. You know, honestly, if Spike wasn't going to get killed by the Syndicate or Vicious, this was his other killer here. The amount of times he smoked in that anime. And I thought I might grab one of the hands just to show the detail. Again, very basic paint apps. Obviously it's emulating an anime and manga panels. But obviously I picked this one because this is the iconic bang scene. Which is a shame that you get this hand sculpt but you don't get the trench coat that he famously wears at the end of the anime. And he does the bang on the stairs and obviously dies. It's a shame we don't get that. And also I would have loved to have got a 1/6 scale Rose to have him hold it like the funeral scene when he finally meets Julia and reunites with her all those years. And just before I forget, a lot of people will be asking why have I brought out, you know, wrist pegs, but this is the first time Threezero have given spare wrist pegs. You know, they usually give you pretty fragile ones on the figure itself. You know, I've got my Berserk stuff there, and Guts had a problem with his wrist peg. It broke. It was already broken in the box when I purchased him. And obviously I was a second buyer, so I couldn't get the warranty stuff with him. But this is a nice touch that they're giving wrist pegs. I've seen their Berserk Griffith have spares, so I'm obviously getting that guy, and again, nice touch that they're giving it out to their figures now. So yeah, what I'm going to do now is bring Spike out, talk about the suit and the tailoring and the details, and yeah, get into it. So we have Spike here in a default pose, hand in the pocket, pretty much one of his standard poses here. Usually has a cigarette in hand, but again, it's a bit too fiddly for me to take out. And yeah, I think the tailoring looks really, really good. You know, there was a lot of concern when the prototype came out. People were comparing it to the old Medicom figure. Which, by the way, I would love for Medicom Ra to come back. You know, I really, really liked their old school figures in 1/6. But yeah, I think the tailoring is really, really form-fitting. Again, this guy's a bounty hunter. He's not going to wear the cleanest clothing here. It's not going to be as form-fitting. But I think it represents the anime suit really, really well. And by the way, that's obviously just a random base, as Threezero unfortunately don't give out bases, which is a pretty big negative now. You would expect every 1/6 scale company to give something that supports the figure standing up, especially something like Spike. He's a very lanky, thin person, and it is a little bit top heavy with that hair, which is detailed really, really well. I did have a 1/7 statue of Spike in the final scene when he's fighting Vicious in the Syndicate mansion. And initially I didn't think Threezero were going to do the green tips, but they have. And because of those small attention to details that this figure has, I sold that statue just because it was 1/7 and I didn't know and didn't realize just how small that is compared to 1/6. It is a scale down, but it is a drastic difference. But I think I made the right choice in selling that and keeping this guy just because, again, it fits better in my collection. But yeah, just zooming into the shirt, the loose tie, which is accurate. Again, Spike doesn't really give a shit about his looks. Kind of the interesting jacket that he wears, with the clips being there instead of buttons. And then just going down to regular pants. And his boots, which is a split cut design and has a separate like sock piece that runs all the way up. Really unique engineering, which Threezero's pretty much honed that with their figures. You know, a lot of their stuff are very greatly engineered, and something as simple as this is very, very good when it comes to posing. It's just that I'm the wrong person to look for that. If you're looking for posing, especially doing all the acrobatic stuff that Spike does, you're not going to get that here. And I think that's pretty much it. I think it's a nice short review. I think nothing more needs to be said. It's a really, really amazing piece. Sometimes the most simplest looking figures stand out the most, especially from such a great source material. And I hope that this is the start for Threezero to continue the line. They did tease Jet, I believe, at a recent convention. And hopefully we get Faye and Ed and Ein. Hopefully we just get the whole crew. I would love like a Vincent and Vicious as well, if they really want to dive into this. They have slowly done that with the Berserk line. Also, they did mention, speaking on Berserk, they did mention that they were going to do a Zod. Hopefully that comes sooner rather than later. And hopefully the whole Bebop team is still in the plans, because I will pick that up and obviously would love to have that in the collection. And yeah, that's pretty much it for today. If you guys did enjoy this, make sure you like and sub, and I'll see you in the next one.